Heinen's. Oh, the stories those walls could tell. That grocery store has seen many things in its long life, but none quite as interesting as Connor Joseph Brown. He was born November 19th, 1999, in a small suburb of Cleveland, Ohio. He was actually born in the same town where his parents met, and he's lived there ever since. On both sides, he's surrounded by family, both on his mom's side and his dad's side, and every Sunday is like a family reunion. They would all come together every Sunday to watch the Browns lose or the Cleveland Cavaliers win, and it was always a really cool experience. His life was always centered around family. With all the family around him, everything was family-oriented. His best friends were his cousins. His every outing they were invited. Something about his parents is he was born to two parents who loved each other. They loved their kids, and most importantly, loved their Christmas decorations. Now Connor, his interests were a little varied. He did all sorts of different things, but one thing that he really focused on throughout his entire career was his academics. Connor always was very academically focused, both in his pursuits and his interests. He's older. He has one older brother and one younger sister, and his older brother was always his biggest competitor. Him and his brother competed academically, they competed athletically, and they competed intellectually. His older brother was the one who actually got him into cross country. He did cross country all 4 years of his high school, which brings me to his biggest value. Connor's biggest value is dedication. He cannot put a big enough emphasis on dedication. His 4 years in high school, he dated the same girl. His 4 years in high school, he did the same sport. And his 4 years in high school, he had the same job at Heinen's. So let me talk to you really quickly about Heinen's. Heinen's is a small, bougie grocery store in Cleveland. To quote Connor, it is the quote-unquote Chick-fil-A of grocery stores. The emphasis was on customer service. But only Connor took this to heart more than anyone else there. Connor made a point to memorize the specifics of each of the customers, the regular customers at least. So when they would come in, he'd ask, "Mrs. Heinbuch, how is your dog doing?" Or, "How did your knee replacement go, Mr. Allen?" Another thing about Heinen's is they had this service called parcel service, which was they made sure they took shifts, but it was a service that all the employees competed for, where they would load the customers' cars, take their groceries out to the car and load their cars. And it was a very coveted position because it generally meant tips. And so there was this one day during the Christmas season, which is the most busiest season, and parcel service is making tons of tips. And Connor took the day, and normally it's a 2-hour shift, but for some reason Connor refused to leave the parcel service. So he was there the entire day, and he made over $300 in tips in one day. And so that he said that was always his favorite position there. Now Connor also has his role models, but none could compete with his father. His father has always been his biggest role model. Growing up, he was a teacher and a mentor. He taught him all sorts of things regarding housework and everything else. Every year, him and Connor would put up the family Christmas decorations. Connor always had the job of hanging the big wreath over the window. And it was one of the biggest days of Connor's childhood, was the day his father allowed him to drive a zero-turn mower. They prided themselves on that lawn. Every day, or not every day, but at least every week, they would maintain the front yard and was pride in the neighborhood. Every year, the Christmas decorations got a little more out of hand. By these last couple of years, it almost rivaled Santa's workshop. Connor's dad was a man who he always provided for his family. He made a point to be there for his family, be there for his kids. He made it so his mom could focus her time, Connor's mom could focus her time on her kids and their family. And so his dad was always a man who was always there for them, both financially, both physically, both emotionally. And that is something that Connor really wants to do in his adult life. Connor's dad also made a point to have a new Audi every couple of years, and he washed it every week. And so it's always been one of Connor's aspirations when he gets older to have his own car that he keeps very clean. As his dad prided himself on keeping his house looking good, his car looking good, and his family looking good. Connor hopes to one day have his own family and hope that